Hey, Kyle Ranger here, and welcome back to another reaction and review. And this is the second last Mickey short to come out of time. And there's a new one out. I will check that out as soon as I can. And before anybody posts it in the comments, yes, I'm aware that the new MLP season 9 trailer is out. Please don't be spamming me to watch it. I'm planning on getting to it hopefully in a few days. So just please be patient. I can't help it that I've been busy with work. I can't help that. So please be patient. I will get to it. But let's go ahead and jump into this Mickey cartoon and see what it is. And from the thumbnail, it showed Mickey and Goofy in like prehistoric times. So I don't know if this is set back then or this is like a Back to the Future-esque cartoon. So let's begin. Actually, that would be awesome. Like, imagine Professor Von Drake as Doc Brown and Mickey. I thought Michael J. Fox. That would be awesome. Start of the video. 3, 2, 1, click. Hall of Science. Oh, here we are again in the Hall of Science. Last time we was here, it wasn't good.
I just love science, don't you?
I pretty much just said that.
Welcome to revolutionary invention, the latest in scientific breakthroughs. First up, the atomic sandwich splitter. Ooh, so sciencey. Finally, a device that slices a sandwich into perfectly equal halves. But that's impossible. Not anymore.
Yeah, you gotta go to the bathroom.
Mick. Hey, Mick. Mickey Mouse. Mick.
What?
Where's the bathroom?
I don't know. It's over there somewhere.
Thanks, buddy.
What
Whoa.
was that? Oh no, Goofy! Oh no is right. He's taken one of the parts out from our time machine. Now, why would he do that? Well, he needed a restroom and I sent him over here. Ooh, he's gonna mess up that time pod.
Oh boy. Oh no.
That's bad.
No, G, really?
It's even worse than I had imagined. What's happening? Well, if someone is traveling already back into the past, their very presence could cause a great big ripple effect throughout time itself, contaminating the existing timeline, producing a terrible, catastrophic result. See that frowny face I drew? We're gonna have to travel into
You mean
the
he's gonna
past and
cause
bring Goofy
a
back
tear in
before
the
whole
time-space
planet
continuum?
is forever goofified. This is my fault. It should be me who goes. And Donald.
I was getting ready to say, Mickey's gotta drag him along. Oh!
There.
Okay!
What'd you use to reattach it, Professor? Super strength glue. Yeah? Because I would have used duct tape! Get it? Duct tape! Right, not the time for jokes. The time pod has been programmed with Goofy's exact coordinates. All set, Professor!
That kind of looks like an old refrigerator.
I hope they're not too late.
Oh no! Doctor Who!
You gotta admit, this is pretty awesome! Blah.
Doctor Who, man. It's even got the light on the top. I just now noticed that. That's like a Doctor. That has to be a Doctor Who reference.
Hey, there's Goofy's time
Because it even had a light on the top. Just like the TARDIS.
Whoa, Donald, look!
Oh boy. Want to bet? He left his. Oh no, he didn't leave his butt. Okay.
Don't worry, buddy. I got you.
You won't catch him. Oh, he got the butt. Oh.
You okay, pal? Donald?
He just suffered head trauma.
That sounded like Goofy. Come on.
Hey ho! Primitive Fight Cave people! It is I, your king!
You think how long have you been here?
This is definitely gonna take longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Listen, we can do this. We just need some kind of overly elaborate plan. I know. We'll just take some of these jungle plants and fashion a crude catapult. Then you... Donald?
Okay then. Oh boy. Back into the TARDIS! Or the Mikus! Or the Diz-is? Doctor Who!
Well, we've got Goofy, but that still doesn't fix the contaminated timeline. Donald, that's it! We'll set the time machine to arrive 1 minute before Goofy drinks that soda. We can fix everything! Well, boys, you've dropped by just in time for a sneak peek of our upcoming exhibition.
You saved the timeline! Hey, Donald, where's your butt?
Oh, no.
What the heck?
Gotta use duct tape.
What the heck? How did that even correlate to how? Okay, that was fun though. That was definitely a fun cartoon. Okay, now I really enjoyed this cartoon. I really did. It was a fun cartoon because it's a similar gimmick. I've seen this sort of gimmick play out before with other cartoons and other things with people getting into a time machine and accidentally going back in time and messing up time, and so someone has to go forward in time or go to the present or the past to try to track them down to try to see if they can try to fix the time-space continuum. And this is a very interesting concept because whenever you put Mickey, Donald, and Goofy into that, hilarious results will ensue. And this is an interesting cartoon in that it's also continuity. It continues from the last time that they were at the Hall of Science, because Donald is completely nervous about it because he remembers the last time that they were there. And Mickey's always excited about it. Donald is completely paranoid, and honestly, rightfully so, because last time they were there, something bad happened. And so Donald will probably never go to the Hall of Science after this again. He's just completely mellow, just taking a sip of his soda. And like I said, it would have been an interesting gimmick for the professor to be like Doc Brown and Mickey to be Marty. Actually, that would kind of work. Doc, Professor Von Drake, Doc Static, Mickey, Marty. It would work. It honestly would be a funny thing to to have Mickey in like a DeLorean. I'm surprised nobody's made a fan fiction of that or made. Come on, people! Like, come on, my gosh! Someone make a piece of fan art of Von Drake and Mickey as Doc and Marty standing in front of a DeLorean. I mean, come on! And put Minnie there too, because that would be awesome. Just come on. Actually, the DeLorean, the DMC, would be awesome because you could put DIS for or DIZ. Come on, you could do it. Or like put the Mickey ears on it, like the mouse or the Mickey icon on the front of the car. No, come on, man. And like on the back of the flux capacitor, you have some of Mickey's ears. That would be cute. But it's interesting that Goofy wants to go to the bathroom, so Mickey sends him to just wherever. And honestly, I have no idea where the bathrooms would be in this location. You think they would be clearly marked, but apparently they're not. So Mickey sends Goofy off to some random location, and Goofy somehow gets into a time machine. You know, it's honestly a good thing that they didn't go into the old time machine. It's honestly a good thing. But the cool thing, again, I'll get on to the references later, but somehow Goofy is transported back in time, and everything begins to change. Somehow, just from Goofy going back in time, everything begins to change. Everybody begins to change into Goofy. And it's actually honestly comical because there's one little reference here, over here on the side. It says Shutter, walk up, and there's a Mickey. It looks like there's a little Mickey icon on the top of the sign. It would have been funny if they had changed that Mickey icon to Goofy's hat. That would have been funny. And Professor Von Drake begins to look through time, and you see different scenes throughout time having evolved. Crossing of the Delaware, Goofy in Gladiator, Glufidus? Okay. Oh my gosh, this is funny. I have to read this. Gufathia led a great campaign across the border of Glufacia with a force of 300 Gooflights and 300 Goober bearers. 300, the movie 300. Goofocles clashed with the forces of Glufidus, the king of Glufacia, the land of the grapevines. Really? In a decisive maneuver, Goofocles presented to Gluficus his cache of goobers. Taken aback in wonder, Glufidus responded in kind and brought forth a great bevy of grapes. An historic moment of peace through the power of goobers and grapes, Gufathia and Glufacia created peanut butter and jelly. The kingdoms were forever united. Much savages and jugs of goat milk were enjoyed throughout the land. Okay, you know what? I really got to give credit to the animators because they didn't just make this just gibberish stuff. Like, they actually put this in here, probably expecting people would pause this video to read that. I love that. That is awesome. So thank you guys for putting the extra amount of detail into that. Then instead of the Sphinx, you have the Goof. And I love Professor Von Drake's expression as if saying, "Oh, this is royally effed up." So after a hijink involving Donald's butt, which is comical because Donald's usually the butt of the jokes, Mickey and Donald end up getting into a time machine and traveling back in time. And the cool thing about the time machine is they did what looks like a reference to Doctor Who in the short, with having some interesting background visuals, and they also had a light bulb on the top of the time machine, which again makes me think of the TARDIS from Doctor Who. So very interesting. I love honestly, that would be cool. If that is a reference to Doctor Who, Like, I can easily imagine, like, just imagine, like, Mickey would probably be, like, the 10th. I imagine Mickey would kind of be like the 10th Doctor, and Minnie would be one of his companions, or rather, more permanent companions. Von Drake could be like one of the older Doctors. It would be a cool series of artwork, especially fanfics, if someone would do it. But they do manage to get back in time, and like I said, the time machine makes me think of the TARDIS because of the bulb on the top of it, except it looks like an old refrigerator. And they find the old time machine of Goofy's, and as you can tell, it's been here a long time. The bulb is broken, it looks rusted, there's weeds and vines growing up along it, so it looks like it's been here for a long time. So, the question it makes you wonder how, and time is a funny thing, so it makes you wonder how long that Goofy has been here. And we see the we see the different dinosaurs, and see that Goofy has had a major effect on time. Although I'm not certain how that Goofy had somehow all of these creatures had somehow managed to get Goofy's face. I have no idea. But again, Goofy is stands here on this rock and declares himself their king. You can tell he's got rid of his vest, and now he's kept the hat. But now he's declared himself their king. And all these other creatures that are cavemen who now have the face of Goofy have accepted him. Another gag that I love here was Mickey makes the mention that they need a pretty highly elaborate plan. And I don't know what Mickey's plan was, but instead of that, Donald just somehow managed to run by, grab Goofy, and that was it. I love that. And of course, whenever they get back to try to change time again to try to save it, they realize Donald's butt is gone, and everybody's face becomes the butt, which is hilarious. But again, okay, wow, unintentional pun there. However, again, this was a very fun cartoon, and it's an interesting thing to have Mickey, Donald, and Goofy time travel. Don't often that we get to see that, so it's an interesting thing, and I want to believe that was a Doctor Who reference. So again, there's some interesting concepts and theories and stories that you could do from some of the different stuff in this. But again, it's an interesting thing whenever you put Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, because there's some crazy hijinks that happen with these three, because they have three completely different personalities and way of doing things. So whenever you put these three together, it's a guarantee hijinks will ensue. And I have really enjoyed this cartoon. This was a very fun cartoon, and the only thing I have to say is it's a shame that the cartoon was short, that the cartoon ran the regular length, because there's a lot that could have been taken advantage of if they really wanted to do more of this concept. They could do a full 23-minute episode or something, focusing just on the hijinks, or a full 12-minute episode or a cartoon short, focusing on the hijinks. They could have had something where Goofy goes back and he's suddenly on the Titanic, and it's the night the Titanic was sinking. And it would have been hilarious for them to have done something like a gag reference to the movie Titanic, where Mickey would have been on a board or a door or something, and Donald would have been in the water. And then suddenly Donald gets up onto the door, and suddenly here it sets Mickey, Donald, Goofy all on this door, and Mickey's like, what do you know? There is enough room. Like a gag reference to the thing that people have said with the movie Titanic, that there's enough room on that door. They could have done that. They could have done like an old 1940s or 30s mafia kind of thing, with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy being chased by the mafia. They could have done something like that. They could have. There's a lot of different possibilities for things that they could have done. It also would have been great, a really awesome reference, if they could have went back in time. Just imagine a scene where they suddenly appeared in an office, and it's Walt's old office, and they suddenly appear back in like the night back in the 1920s, and or like 1928, and you have like suddenly Walt is animated in it, and he turns around and sees them, and Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are just like, sorry, and then they get back in the time machine, and then it shows an image of Walt drawing Mickey on a piece of paper. That would have been a fun reference to have done as well. That's definitely something I myself would have done. uh, but again, this really was a fun cartoon. And again, it's an interesting thing to have Mickey, Donald, and Goofy time travel because, again, hijinks just happen a lot with these guys. And so whenever you put these three together, you know there's going to be some fun. And also love the fact that they were back in the Hall of Science, and Donald was very wary and hesitant because he expected something bad to happen, and he was right. His gut instincts were right, as was his butt instincts. And so it was a very fun cartoon to have these guys um, travel through time. And I'm not sure how they're going to go back in time and fix this situation at the end, but yeah, I guess we'll see. That's a story for another day. But this was a funny cartoon, and I really did enjoy it. It's not one of my most favorites because my most favorite cartoons are the ones that feature Mickey and Minnie. But again, I did enjoy this cartoon. This really was a fun cartoon, and it would be cool to see more of time travel cartoons in the future. Hopefully, we might see more of that in the future as well because that would be really awesome to see. There are some other little gags in this to highlight. Mickey just looks so high here at the concept of science, and he's like so sciency. Um, and Professor X makes a mention about a sandwich cutter that can cut a sandwich evenly sliced. And Mickey says here that's impossible to cut a sandwich evenly sliced. Honestly, I don't cut my sandwich in half, so I could not verify this. But hey, if you've cut a sandwich in half, tell me in the comments, is it really that impossible? I'm not saying that it isn't difficult, just like if you really wanted to get technical and take a measuring tape and measure across, maybe. I don't know of anybody that would go to that extreme, but again, let me know in the comments. Honestly, though, as long as this machine takes to cut a sandwich, I don't care if it's not evenly sliced. I would not want to wait this long for this machine to do this. Plus, you'd be out thousands of dollars just buying this. And there's an interesting thing here. Whenever Goofy first begins to talk to Mickey, and you can see Mickey's different expressions change. One is, okay, just try to ignore him. To, alright, this is getting a little annoying. This is beginning to get grating. And then finally Mickey's like, what? And I love the little detail whenever Mickey takes a deep breath, how, like, Mickey's body is just like the stick figure, kind of, like he's thin. And so whenever he takes a deep inhale, you can see the upper part of his chest actually expand. I like that. It's a really lovely little detail. But this, whenever the laser lands on the ground close to Mickey and Donald, like I thought that was actually going to cut off one of Mickey's ears. I was actually afraid that was actually going to happen. And there's the atomic sandwich splitter, okay, and there's other things in the background. The liquefier 9000, the seismic agitator. I'm wondering what the seismic agitator does. I probably don't want to know. And then they take the time machines, and time machine danger, no, keep out, hands off. Really? You put a display like that and you put traffic cones around it? Seriously? And honestly, I have to say, the moment whenever, like with time, and whenever the professor was flipping through that history book to see what happened, honestly, you could consider that, it probably wasn't intended that way, but you could honestly consider that a joke, an inside joke to the other Goofy cartoons from the 1940s and 50s that portrayed Goofy in different points, like Goofy's family tree and different points in history and different things like different things Goofy was doing, like how to ski, uh, football, basketball, things like that, you could probably consider this to be a bit of an inside joke reference to all of the Goofy cartoons from the 1940s and 50s that highlighted Goofy in different timelines and Goofy doing different things. And so honestly, this isn't too far-fetched, because if you really kind of take it literal, that's already happened. Goofy has already interacted with our time stream. But I love the little honestly, the moment where Donald gets his butt cut off is hilarious. In this moment, Professor Von Drake, like, holding Donald's butt. I'm just going to leave that thumbnail there, and you guys do with it what you will. Like, go ahead, do what you will with it. And again, oh my gosh. Sorry, I just had this image with this right here. I'm waiting for someone put captions on this. Honestly, the funny thing is, while I'm a brony and I'm a Disney fan, the funny thing is Disney fans don't do what bronies do in terms of things like that. If this was MLP, I can easily see someone making a caption of this, but Disney fans won't do that. Disney fans will not do that. But so I'm just going to say it anyway. Imagine a caption here of, "Does he got that booty? He do." Sorry, that's just comical. And then the only thing they put it on with was glue. And I love that bit whenever Mickey makes a mention about duct tape. I mean, come on, that is gold. That is gold. And like I said, I have to wonder, how did Goofy going back in time affect all these creatures, affect their physical appearance? Like, I don't understand how that happened. And I knew that Mickey wasn't going to catch Donald. I knew he wasn't going to. He caught his butt. Donald smacks the ground, of course, and, Donald's totally fine. It just suffered, head trauma. Donald's there's two different expressions here with Mickey and Donald. For me, Mickey's is like, what the heck? Donald's is like, I have seen some shmeep. And I did think whenever they went back in time and interacted with themselves, I thought, there's a catch. There's a catch. Something's going to get screwed up. And I was right. It happened. Everybody's faces became butts. So I guess that was the end of this cartoon. Yeah, I went there. I totally went there. But yeah, this was a fun cartoon, and again, it's an interesting concept to see time travel with the main six. It's not often highlighted. I know it has happened before in Disney Comics with Mickey and Ego Biva. I know it has happened before, and but to see Mickey, Donald, and Goofy travel through time in a time machine that makes me think of the TARDIS, that's unique. And it's also interesting. It's not often done, and I'm very happy that they went that direction with it. I'm very glad they did. And again, I would love to see something with Mickey and Minnie traveling back in time. That would be awesome. Actually, that would be great if they could do another time travel cartoon where the mice go back in time, where Mickey and Minnie could go back in time, and they could end up seeing themselves in black and white. That would be epic. That would be epic. That would be so much fun. But again, this was a really fun cartoon, and I enjoyed the concept of it. Them going back in time and messing with time and space, and of course it had to be Goofy. Because honestly, if Donald would have done it, Donald probably would have been like a dictator. He probably would have been like a dictator or a ductator. And for Goofy, yeah, it would just kind of been more. For Goofy, it was kind of more calm. Although I still have to wonder, Goofy, how long? It wasn't even mentioned in the cartoon. Mickey did not ask Goofy, how long have you been here? How long was it before we showed up? Because in Goofy's time, it could have been months, and somehow Goofy managed to adapt. I don't know, but yeah. But again, this was a fun cartoon, so I did enjoy it. It was fun, and hopefully people enjoyed the reaction and the jokes. Hopefully, but thanks again to Disney, everybody that worked on this cartoon, and thank you, thank you also to the animators as well for actually putting in the detail in the history book and all that to read. That was hilarious. Thank you for putting that in there. I'm really glad that you didn't take the easy way out and just make it scribbles. I'm glad that you actually went through the extra effort and wrote all of that. That was epic, and it was hilarious. It would have been awesome if you could have done that with the other pages as well, and included other hilarious things for us to read. But again, thank you to everybody for working on this cartoon. Thank you to everybody, and thank you all so much. And also, thank you guys again for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.